Very special guest. I got Todd from the Search and Discovery team with me today. Welcome, Todd.
Thanks for having me.
Now, Todd, people have been asking for this interview ever since we started the channel. So I'm super excited to kind of dig in a little bit to help people understand a little bit around how we recommend videos and how we think about that. Maybe we could just start by going over what is the goal of the Search and Discovery team? Why do you guys exist?
Yeah, so there's, as you know, there's over 400 hours of video being uploaded to YouTube every minute. So that's, I think, 72 days worth of content per day. And given that each person probably only has an hour or two to watch YouTube every day, it's our job to help them find what they want to watch. And not just what they're going to watch, but what they're going to want to enjoy, and keep them coming back to YouTube every day to watch more videos. So really understand each viewer, what they like, and give them the videos that they're going to find engaging.
So how do you solve that problem? That sounds like a very kind of ambitious goal. How do you break that down into a mental model?
Yeah, so the way we think about it is our job is to follow the audience, because by listening to the audience, we'll do a better job of giving them what they want. So the way we think about the systems that we build is that they're really a gigantic feedback loop for the audience. In any given day, we collect over 80 billion different pieces of feedback from the audience. We look at things like, well, what did they watch? What did we recommend that they decided not to watch? How long did they watch for? But increasingly, we're moving beyond just watch time as one of our key goals. We look at satisfaction signals, like did they like it, did they dislike it? When we recommended it on the homepage, did they say they were not interested? We give viewers the ability to tell us that, so we can stop recommending certain types of videos that they didn't like. And recently we even started using surveys to try to even better understand the audience and what they like and don't like. So we send out tens of thousands of surveys every day to people, asking them whether the recommendations we're giving them are good or not, as well as following up with people after they've watched a video to find out how enjoyable that video was. Was it one of the best videos they've ever seen, or was it kind of an average video? Because we believe that not every minute spent on YouTube is probably equally valued, and we want to be able to really recognize when viewers have maybe even a life-changing moment with a video, so that we can recommend more videos like that.
Cool. Now, you've been on the team for 3 years.
Yeah.
I'm guessing you've seen a lot of interesting experiments, and the work that the team does has evolved over time. Could you share some examples of changes that have been made and maybe why you guys thought about making those changes?
Yeah, so changes are happening all the time, because we're always trying to get better about giving people the right content that they're going to find satisfying. At any given time, we probably have several dozen different experiments running with different changes that we think might help improve engagement and satisfaction. But we're also very careful about how many of those experiments make it into the final product. Each experiment gets tested with millions of viewers, so we really want to see how it does before we roll it out to everyone, and only a minority of those changes do we put into the final product, and we go through a review process for every change, and we look at dozens of metrics. I know that a lot of creators have kind of asked me, well, what's the one thing that I should focus on to be successful on YouTube? Is it watch time? Is it likes? Is it comments? And what we found over time is...
I've even asked you that question.
You have asked me that question.
Yeah.
And as you probably remember, I've said that, while I wish I could give you a simple answer, what we've learned to truly understand the audience and what they want is not just about just looking at one thing like watch time or likes, because, for example, with watch time, we've come across some changes in the past that we've considered, we had this one change recently that significantly increased watch time across YouTube. It actually, if we would have rolled out this change, people would have watched millions more hours every day on YouTube. So you might think, well, obviously that's one of the good ones. Let's let's roll that one out. But when we looked at the dozens of metrics we looked at for each change, we found that there were some interesting things happening that weren't the same across all viewers. What was happening is, one, we were recommending longer videos on average. So you might see more videos that are like an hour long or more. But our hit rate in terms of like how often a viewer would find a video they want to watch was lower. So you'd be less likely to find a video, but when you did find one you liked, you might watch for longer. So overall watch time was up. But what was ultimately happening when we dug in was we were increasing engagement with a small, heavy segment of the audience, and actually reducing engagement from a casual user segment. And because we look not just at like the total volume of engagement, we also break it out and see how it's affecting different groups of viewers. And we care about growing the appeal of YouTube to more and more viewers over time. We felt that this wasn't representative of the type of change we wanted to make, because it was actually making the experience worse for a significant segment of viewers that we cared about. And so rather than make them pay the price for another segment, we said, let's go back and see if we can find a way to get the improvements here without hurting it for a different segment. So we look at these things very closely, and spend hours a week digging into the details, but ultimately it does change a lot in a given year. 200 to 300 changes do end up happening, so it's a lot to keep up with. But each change that we do roll out, we can be confident that we're making the experience better.
Cool. It's easy to think about. People often talk about the algorithm.
Yeah.
I think in reality it's a little more nuanced than that. Maybe what we could do is talk about